We go. Hey everybody, it's your girl Lady Couture, the voice of all media diva, and welcome to the Couture Experience. I am here with my sister. Now I know her as Doja, so on social media. So we're gonna get into a little bit of things um today, and just to give a little bit of a backstory, everything that has been going on, like just what are we in March? So okay, we're in March. Um
It's been a long year.
it's been a long year already, and already like the this administration pretty much what they said they were going to do in the campaign, they pretty much have done it. And people have been affected on especially like federal workers. And you were one of those federal workers where you were just basically removed, um, with no type of, hey, we're going to give you a package or anything like that. So, first, tell the people your name, where you're from, and just give us a little bit of like, what position you were in that, like, I know how you felt in that moment, but I mean, just to let everybody else know, like, what was that like like to get that call or to have that meeting or whatnot.
So, hey y'all. My name is Queenie Romaine. I am from California, but I reside in the miserable state of Indiana.
Mhm.
Um, I was on a contract through TANF, which most people don't know. TANF is cash assistance and it incorporates the SNAP. And what I was doing, I was a case manager working with single fathers, trying to help them be more present fathers in their child's life, helping them in their personal and professional life, and also giving them the vocabulary needed to have a constructive conversation with a co-parent.
Mhm.
And on March 5th, they had a Zoom meeting with us, and we were told that Indiana has stripped the contract and we were terminated effective immediately. Our regional, she was like, she's never seen a contract the same day that they take it. They want everybody eliminated right that same day. So everybody, nobody knew. She knew the week prior that they were taking a contract, but she was trying to fight for us
Mhm.
and like show them all of what we had been doing and how we had really been helping people and making changes and things to that nature.
Mhm.
And Indiana said, no, we're not going to do it. And I think it was, Jesus, Lord forgive me, March 5th, it was around 3:30.
Mhm.
And that was the last time we had a job. Um, they told us that Indiana hasn't even paid them. So they were just paying us out of a reserve
Mhm.
to make, and so we never knew that they didn't have the money that Indiana had promised them. Like this was a couple $1 million contract,
Mhm.
and when we found out that she had never even been paid, but she was making sure we were being paid,
Mhm.
you know, it kind of make you feel like, wow, I appreciate you because you still was out here fighting for us without us knowing that you was fighting for us.
Right.
And for me, it's being in a state like this and everywhere that you turn, everything is on some type of freeze.
Mhm.
It has been depressing. But I've just decided that, I have those moments. I mean, everybody, you have to give yourself grace to have those moments, or you'll have that moment at the wrong time and it go crazy. Especially with what I'm already dealing with on a personal level.
Mhm.
So it has been very, very stressful. Especially with the fact that they were already stating that they were going to be taking Medicaid and stuff like that. And I go through treatments.
Mhm.
So that has impacted me being able to get treatments because they were already trying to take it because they claim I was making too much. in the state of Indiana, a household of three can only make on a monthly, I think, like $2,500, and that's overall. That's not nothing deducted or nothing like that. So I already was going without and trying to stretch the medicine that I did have.
Right.
And it has been a whirlwind. I've applied and applied, but I did, you know, through all darkness, and I'll say this to anybody, through all darkness, find a reason to smile, find some type of sunshine within yourself to continue to go, because this current administration wants us to stop.
Yeah.
This current administration wants us to give up and feel defeated and allow them to continue to do whatever.
Right.
But we have to keep showing up.
Mhm.
I think you said it once when you said that they never expected us to survive.
Yeah.
And I am happy, during all of this, without knowing, I was already accepted into the Notre Dame entrepreneur program, and they paid for everything. And I graduated. Jesus, when was it? I feel like these days just seem so
It's so
long.
long.
They just seem so long. So I graduated last Saturday or Saturday before last or something
Yeah,
like that.
okay. Now
Um,
what's now the entrepreneur, like, tell like a little bit about that program. Like, what does that entail? Like, it just does it just get you ready for doing anything like entrepreneur, or just like a specific?
no, it gets you ready for doing whatever it is
Hmm.
that your focus of business. They put you in the same room with the state,
Okay.
that do grants and stuff like that. They put you in front of CDFI, which is, most people don't know what a CDFI is.
Hmm.
Those are like the middleman that fight for you to get money and see
Hmm.
what you qualify for and help you get your credit and your business credit all together.
Hmm.
They pay for your licensing of your business. So if you haven't paid for the LLC, they pay for that.
Hmm.
Um, so they do all that, and then once you graduate, they allow you to use their stamp of approval on your business. So I get to use Notre Dame on my business as my co-signer. Like, they acknowledge me as a legitimate business
Hmm.
startup. Now I get to be welcome to present my pitch in front of Notre Dame and various other companies and things like that to see about getting or obtaining some type of funding.
Hmm.
It's never a guarantee. You still have to go out there and be confident and sell yourself on it.
Yeah.
But you get to be placed in certain positions to try to help you win. And the
Okay.
majority of my class were Black. Like,
Okay.
it was a whole bunch of them. And the majority of were Black. You did have some minority, I mean, some brown
Hmm.
people. And I don't think no, we did have a couple white people.
Hmm.
Shocking, but it was like five.
Hmm.
but and then they had people that had took the program before come and tell us where they are in their journey. Some of the people that have graduated have signed $1 million contracts with the state and are doing really, really well.
Hmm.
This one young man, he signed a contract with the Colts in Indianapolis. So he's there. His brand is the only coffee that they serve.
Wow.
So it places you in certain positions,
Okay.
but you have to be willing to do the work.
Dude, I was about to say do the work, because you have multiple, like, you do a lot, because like you sell, like I be seeing you, like, so do you have like a plan of just one particular thing
Yes.
that you're going to do?
So I want to say, I don't want to lie. I have a 2-in-1. So I have, because I haven't applied for the 503. I have a 501.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned the shortcut, because they give us this book.
Mm-hmm.
And so I learned a shortcut how to get my nonprofit without having to pay all that money. Um,
Okay.
so my LLC is my mentorship program, and
Mm-hmm.
that's my main focus.
Okay.
And once I can get that established, that will help my nonprofit to open my transitional house. So that is my focus, because I want to touch the children that used to be me in the community. In
Mm-hmm.
the state of Indiana, individuals from the ages of 8
Mm-hmm.
and up are either on fentanyl, or something. And
Wait a minute, back that up. You said 8
yes, that was the youngest one that I've ever seen.
on fentanyl?
Hmm.
Oh, and I know that there is a bad problem, a drug problem in Indiana, but I did.
Hmm. And the youngest young lady that I've worked with, that was homeless, had nowhere to go. She was
Mm-hmm,
12, and nobody wanted her. And I've had conversations
mm-hmm,
with the people that do the foster care, and I I feel like Indiana needs to be truly shaken up because they don't care about black and brown children.
mm-hmm,
If you can give me statistics on where they're failing, but you have no plan to
mm-hmm.
implement so they can succeed, that's a problem for me.
Yeah,
And so that's why I created my 13. So it's either a 13 week or 13 month, depending on the person.
yeah,
And the whole focus is to help you fall in love with you through your own eyes.
yeah.
And I've created a mission, and I refuse to give up on that. Every year I do a back to school drive.
Mm-hmm.
Every year I do a Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so I have a meeting next week with the director of the jail to try to get my program in the jail.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm excited about that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I'm just, unfortunately, in the state of Indiana, it's so corrupt. I did file for unemployment, but
Mm-hmm.
somebody has already attempted to try to file unemployment in my name. So now I'm trying to fight for that. So it's like I'm remaining positive in such a lost state of how can I survive? How can I pay for this? How can I pay for that? With me being sick when I had my children, I was on a program, and then when that program lost money, that's how I got on Section 8. But I've always had a job, and I feel like a lot of people get housing confused. There's
Yeah.
various programs in the housing authority. You have public housing,
Mm-hmm.
which is that's what they assign you to live. You
Mm-hmm.
have Section 8, you find it, and it could be a private landlord. And then some states have other programs.
Yeah.
And for me, I've never had rent that was $12. I mean, never. I would be okay with it, but I've never
Right.
had that.
Right.
I've always had to pay a nice portion. So my rent is 11.25. I think the highest I've ever had to pay was 600 and something. So that's like over half
Over
basically.
half. Yeah.
So now with me not working and that being up in the air, it's like,
Now what do
Lord,
you do?
yeah, like I look at my children and sometimes it gets sad because they've already experienced something that I wasn't able to protect them from. And it's like I can't even protect them from this, and it's so frustrating. But
Yeah.
at the same time, they feed off my energy, and the last thing I want to give them is negative energy. So I stay focused and I stay content. And for me, given losing a job
Mm-hmm.
um twice now,
Yeah.
because the job before that lost their contract, and then this one lost the contract. So it's like, Lord, guide me on what you need to do. But what I can say to anybody, it is not easy,
Mm-hmm.
but you cannot lose yourself in the darkness,
Mm-hmm.
and you cannot wallow in the what ifs, because while you're sitting there thinking what ifs, time is passing you by. So
Yeah.
you have to figure out a plan of execution. And I know for some people they'll say that's easier said than done, but I am telling you, while I'm going through it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how can I do, what can I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sending out emails to every business because my grandmother always said 100 doors might close in your face, but one will open. So, but if you don't do nothing and put yourself out there, you'll
Yep.
never know.
You have to do the work. And speaking of which, because where I've seen that you mentioned like you're on your way to the White House. So I am I want to know how, I mean, I know, but I want you to tell the people, how did that come about for you? You can't say councilwoman is what, and then we're going to move from councilwoman to senator, and then move from senator.
Speaking into existence.
Right, right, right. So how did that come about for you being on the path to being a councilwoman?
This election, this past election, and social media.
Mm-hmm.
I have the slightest idea why people like me, but for some reason, white women like me. Hey y'all. So,
Yeah.
so it's like, and it is amazing how many people have literally privately reached out to me,
Mm-hmm.
and so I I want to say you played a part in inspiring that move. And the reason why I say that is you said something a while ago on social media, and I don't want to quote it verbatim because I can't remember. Did a lot of drugs in my life, but you said something on the lines of, if you're just going to sit there and say nothing, then you're just as bad as those that are doing everything to destroy us.
Mm,
Something on the lines of that.
yeah.
And I remember seeing that video. It was late at night, and I was like, I can't just make content. I can't just half step.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be representation of a voice that cannot be bought.
Yeah. That's it.
And I, ever since then, I have been putting myself out there to shake hands with senators. And some of them jokers don't like me. I don't care. Oh, so the Democrats don't like me because I told them they move like Republicans. Get it together. Tighten up.
That's
So
it.
I and this program that I was in with Notre Dame also assisted the overhaul shift because I was already making the calls and doing the work, campaigning for Kamala Harris, phone banking and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this program, the lady that was over the program, she had been the Democratic chair for 28 years.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know that. I just happened to start talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
You can't network if you don't speak. So I
True.
just started talking to her. I ain't know nothing about that part of it. And when she said that, and she invited me to some different places so people can know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow I will be in the Democratic parade marching with them. So we'll be marching in what is this holiday coming up? St. Patrick's
So
green.
yeah, St.
I
Patrick's Day.
got I got I got to wear green. I ain't been to school in a while, so I don't be
Listen,
remember
okay.
holidays. I'll be walking with them, and then they also invited me to um I guess we'll be on the news because one of our locals don't want to speak to the constituents. He don't want to have us sit down. He don't want to have any council meeting, none of this stuff. So we gonna press him. And yeah, so that's basically, there has to be representation. Everybody talk about what the Democrats aren't doing, but what are you doing?
Exactly. That's
if
that's
if
right.
if you're sitting back waiting on other people to do something for you, you will continue to fail. And I would rather be out there trying to make waves not only for myself, my children, my children's children, other people's children, even those that might not like me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out there. I'm going to be doing the work. God didn't place me in certain positions to learn certain things, to
Mm-hmm.
not put it to use to help other people.
Right.
So well, hopefully, I could be in the. I don't know. The White House is contaminated. It's ghetto,
We gotta
but
we gotta spray that out. We gotta spray it down.
hazmat suit,
After
sanitize.
everything, right? Sanitize it. We gotta do everything. So, in closing, first I want to I appreciate you so much doing this and basically um letting people into your journey to know, because I mean I've seen a lot of people videos that are either they are talking about it being released, from federal, and like some of them are out there protesting, some of them are like, on like getting emotional, and it's a lot. I mean, it's real heavy when come this is 2025 or you think it's going to be the best year ever, and then you all of a sudden you get an email saying, well, what did you do last week? If from somebody who's not even an official, who's not even in the government, or a president or whatever, that's basically like, oh, you got to go. And I'm like, but to hear your journey, um that you've come from that, so that's a bump in the road, but it is like, okay, you know what, there's that bump or there's that dead end, but here's another way that has come, and and now you're still going, no matter what, and I want you to continue to keep going. It's going to be moments where you're going to have those moments, and but just remember, you got your babies. And I've always learned, like when I was young, and my mom, she went back to school, um and I didn't know what was going on. She wasn't working. I didn't know how she was making it work. And it was like when I got older, that's when she had told me, oh, well, we were on food stamps and I was, getting my hair. I didn't know, because my mom kept that from me. She never let me see her sweat. She never let me see her stressed about nothing. And you just keep doing that. Don't let your baby see. You know what I mean? You just keep doing what you're doing, and keep going. Girl, you got it. You know what I'm saying? You got it. And it's all definitely going to pay off in the end. And I just want, in closing, what words of encouragement do you have for other people who are in your position, working for the government and being, or just for just anybody, period, who's going through a rough time now?
I will genuinely say this, and I pray that people can receive it the way that I mean it. Whatever it is that you've put off, maybe God is trying to tell you it's time to open that door for yourself and stop putting your life in someone else's hand.
Mhm.
I also am a firm believer of therapy, because it is okay to cry. It is okay to give yourself a moment, but
Mhm.
don't allow your moments to be a lifetime. Don't allow that dark cloud to continue to hinder your steps. So release those tears. It's okay. But the same way that God opened that door, He will open another door. Sometimes we have to just be patient and focus and center ourselves and remember, for me, especially if you are a spiritual person, remember who you are and whose you are, and never allow nobody to take that power from you.
Mhm.
Yes, you lost a job. Okay. Brush it off, cry, get you some wine. I got Stella Rose in there. Get you get you some wine and
Right.
say, you know what? I am somebody. I
Yeah,
am a conqueror. I know that you don't have power unless I give it to you.
that's it.
And that's all I can say to somebody.
Thank you, Doja, so much. Again, let the people know where to follow you, um, so they can keep up to date when you get in the White House.
You can follow me on TikTok, Raina underscore, I think that's what it is, Amada underscore 86. Or you can follow me on Threads. I'm working on my website as we speak
Mhm.
for my business. So you can follow me there. Just don't judge me based off what we listen and we don't
I was
judge.
about to say,
Okay.
we listen, we
Listen,
don't judge. Okay,
we're growing here.
we're growing. We are growing. Remember that. All right, everybody. I thank you so much for joining us today on here on the Couture Experience. Stay tuned next time, next guest, and stay safe out there. Thank you, Doja. Love
Love
you.
you too.